I'm going to tell myself, oh, how do I be like Elon Musk and be running $1 trillion company? Now, if you want to take your digital skill to the highest possible level, I'm talking about if you're ambitious enough to think about how you can do $1 billion from a digital skill, or $2-3 billion, or you want to do 10, 20, 30 million dollars. This is the exact monetization model that would work for you. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the various strategies under this monetization model, the very unique positionings that this strategy has, and how you can actually be able to apply them. Most importantly, I'm going to share with you the secrets, my own personal experience on how I was able to build 2 companies just based on my digital skill alone over the last 10 years, and how I was able to incrementally grow the value to as much as getting people to buy shares for the company and every other thing. I'm going to share a little bit of that with you, and more importantly, my secrets, my own personal secrets, especially to those of you who watch the end of the video. Let's start by talking about the various strategies under the entrepreneurial monetization model of digital skills. The very first strategy is what we call the digital agency strategy. Now, within this particular strategy, what you prioritize is using your skill and your knowledge of your digital skill as a base to actually be able to build a maybe non-scalable but a very profitable business. So what is an agency? An agency, it's more like a business who provides the talent and the resources to execute a particular project, one, and also sources the jobs or the projects that demand. Let me give you a very simple example. You can have a UI UX agency, UI UX, or the design agency. Design agency can be either graphics, brand identity, or UI UX. The design agency goes to look for people who want to design their apps, or go to look for people who want to design their maybe their brand identity, maybe company who wants to rebrand, and that agency is able to give them a brief, give them a proposal, pitch to them, and the company is like, wow, we like what you're doing, we like your work, we are going to go with you. Now, as soon as the company says we are going to go with you, they're going to pay the agency part of the money. The agency, 2 ways. The agency can either have already existing staff that are on employment with monthly salaries, where these staff members execute the project, or the agency can choose to go and hire or contract staffs and help them, or rather guide them in executing the project to quality. Then the agency can now pay them the money. So a digital agency is a business that reaches out to people with digital needs, gets them to actually be able to buy into the idea or the proposal that they have, and it's definitely able to even more extensively manage an entire team of creatives behind them. There are different types of agencies. There's a digital marketing agency which I founded years ago. There are design agencies, there are tech or web development agencies, there's a copywriting agency or writing agencies, there are various, there's video marketing agency as well. Literally almost every digital skill can have an agency business model behind it. And the reason why this is possible is because some companies are more interested in reaching out to people who are within a particular niche. They would rather reach out to somebody who focuses only on design than reach out to somebody who does digital marketing and have designers. Some companies would rather reach out to a company who only does copywriting than reach out to a digital marketing or a social media management company who has various copywriters. And so the whole idea of having a digital agency model is on the grounds that some companies would rather have you as a niche specialized agency work with them than they would have generalists work with them. So this particular model is the easiest to start because you only need some kind of packaging and branding. So the very first thing you need a brand name. So you can call yours fishing, mega fishing. So whatever that's supposed to mean, that was a good guess anyway from me. So you can call it the mega phishing agency, you understand? So you can decide to make it a cybersecurity agency, you can decide to make it anything, phishing as per phishing, or even if it's normal phishing, or you can say the creative megas. So creative megas digital agency. So if it's a digital marketing agency, you have to be able to register it depending on the country you're watching this from. If you're in Nigeria with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and of course if you're within the US and the UK, you definitely have to register it with the respective authorities in business registration. Now the reason why, when you are using the entrepreneurial model, you want to be able to operate like a business. Now it doesn't mean you cannot start at one. I started my business in 2015. I registered it at 2019. Between 2015 and 2019, I've literally made maybe 2-3 million from the business already and created thousands of designs, because then it was a design agency. And so you don't need to be, but if you want to get projects, if you want to be able to pitch to people, you want to be in rooms, you want to be able to have conversations, that cannot be possible. It cannot be significantly possible without having a corporate agency. So you can either register the agency as a sole proprietorship, or you can register the agency as a limited liability corporation. Now don't swingle about this thing too much. Sole proprietorship is you own the business is your own business. It has only you behind it. Limited liability, you have to have board of directors, you have to have maybe 1 million shares or 10 million shares or 1 billion shares. And so that's like a way more different approach. So now I would always advise, if of course your budget matters. If you're registered in limited liability, 25, 30, 40,000 depending on who you're meeting and where you're meeting them for. We would have the link to just in the description of this video. You can actually send the direct DM to Skill and tell them to refer you with any of their agents that work with those registrations. And so you want to have your registration, the reason why you need your registration is so that you're going to get a bank account. That's the major thing. When you're transacting as an agency, you cannot transact with your personal bank account. It has to be with the corporate account of the company you're working with. I don't know if this makes sense. You have to be able to significantly have a bank account, at least the company you're working with or the company you created. If you're using this particular strategy, the reason why you need a business name is because you need to have a corporate account, because people are not going to want to pay money to somebody who just has a personal account. Okay, it is very likely that they would want to hear or they would want to pay money to a business. The third thing you need now is that you need to be able to have some kind of proficiency in the particular skill or in the particular service that you're offering. It will give you an advantage. I'm going to give you a very simple example with a web design or web development agency. I can run a web development agency with this skill. So if I have a web design skill, my first client, I'm going to do the job. I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to be talking to my team about you. You have to have an official, just to give you a bit of a detail, you have to have an official phone number when it has to do with an agency. It has to be your official WhatsApp. You have to have a logo. You have to have your social media handles. It's a different thing from actually being a freelancer where you're using your name and all that. No, it's a completely different thing. The business has to be separate and separately represented digitally than you. You have to have a business website, and you don't need to put all those kind of energy except you have money. If you have like 5 million and you want to start an agency, please book a free consultation with us before you get started. Just send a DM and ask, I would love a free consultation. I want to start my agency and I have funding. So just book a free consultation, because it's a bit different if you have resources. If you don't have resources, don't bother. Just do a CAC registration of about 20-30K. And then, if these are for Nigerians, sorry, those of us that are from Ghana and Kenya and Uganda and every other African country, please, I'm sure you understand how this also could apply to you. Those of you in Kenya have way better advantage, because I think your system is way more flexible and it's a bit faster than Nigeria when it has to do with business registration as well. So you get your account, you get your official WhatsApp and every other thing. You can hire, but what I advise you to do is look for people who are passionate about ideas or dreams and have them work with you or volunteer to work with you. So you can have an admin, somebody that talks to customers and relates with customers on your behalf. You understand? Personally, I started with a friend of mine, amazing young lady. We had a conversation. I told her, you know what, I'm giving you a job and I'm not going to pay you for it. And she was dealing with all the customers. Whenever somebody wanted to meet with me, she had a conversation with them. Whenever I wanted to meet with somebody, she had a conversation with them. And that's how I started my agency. If I grew it into a full-fledged team. So agency model is relatively very easy. What gives you the biggest advantage when it has to do with an agency model is customer acquisition. If you for any reason have network, and somebody, I have this mentor of mine, amazing guy, relatively very amazing, one of the people who significantly changed my life in the digital industry. And he was sharing with me his story. He had started his agency and had one relationship. He told me something. He said, one woman changed my life. And I was like, wow, like how? She had a real estate business and she gave him one contract. He said the one contract was enough for him to rent a building, hire the first 2-3 people within the company. It was just crazy. If you have that kind of grace or favor God gives you, it's also something significant that you should be grateful you do have it. To those of you that don't have those relationships, it's not an entirely bad idea for you to start from scratch and build. Personally, I had to start from scratch. I had to build one client at a time. There was not necessarily any big break. It was just gradually progressive. 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million. I just had to grow. It was a very gradual process for me. Some people, you don't have to have that process. It would just be a leap off, okay? But you need to understand that building an agency is a very powerful thing. And that is what I advise people to start when they are visionary. Don't think about being a freelancer. Don't think about doing all those petty things. Now, this takes longer. In one of the videos in this series, I've said if you're building an agency, it's literally going to take you 6 months to 1 year for you to significantly begin to see some kind of result. It's difficult, not very easy in any way. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more now about the second strategy in the entrepreneurial model of monetization. This strategy involves how you use your already existing or your already acquired digital skill to furnish a business you already own. So some people who learn digital skills are primarily, maybe you're a business owner already, you already own a business, you already manage a business, you're already doing relatively quite well, and you just chose to add a digital skill so that you can see how to grow your business. Now, please, if you are such a person and you went for social media, please try to do digital marketing. Yes, take it from me. Social media management or social media mastery is going to be great for you. For your exposure and your understanding of digital marketing will change your life completely. So if you are somebody who already has a business and you're thinking, I want an amplification, I want to know how I can use the digital space to grow my business, think about digital marketing, acquire a digital marketing skill. If you don't have, I think Skill to Skill just launched the first cohort of the Digital Marketing Mastery Program. You should check the link below for it. It's somewhere in the link below. Check for it and then sign up for the program. I'm not sure what cohort they are in, but it's something that would significantly be able to help you. Okay, so now if you already have a business, what you're going to do is you have to have the courage to start from somewhere and try. I know you may not be doing 1 million or 10 million or 100 million. Even if all you're making a month is 40, 50,000, try by starting how you can put 2,000 naira away, 3,000 naira away, 4,000 naira away, so that you can start with running ads on your business. That's the best way to start. Now, if you can already know how to run ads, and that would be great. Except if you don't understand digital marketing, you're going to waste your money on ads. That's the reason why I said learn digital marketing mostly if you already have a business. Okay. But the most important thing that you would need to do as a business owner who wants to take advantage of the digital space and digital skill is to know how to create content. If you can't run ads, you can still succeed. You just need to be good at content. These are two things you can never change. They would not change. You're either very good at content or you're very good at ads. If you can be good at any of these two and you join, I don't care the business you're doing, even if you're selling coffees. I'm sorry to say this, but even if what you're selling it's coffins for burial coffins, you're going to do well. That's just the whole thing. Put ads or put content behind anything, you will fly. And so some of the things that some of you should be considering as well is starting a blog. You can consider starting a blog, starting a YouTube channel, starting an Instagram page where you're creating content and educating people about things. These will help you grow an audience, and that audience will trust you enough to buy from you. That is how your digital skill becomes ridiculously advantageous when it has to do with you already running or creating a business. Now let's talk about some of you who you're not operating a business. You don't want to start an agency and go to, you want to sell shoes, or you want to make shoes, or you want to sell cars, or you want to import cars, or you want to sell shirts, suits, irrespective of anything you want to do. Try to learn digital marketing, please. It's way better than social media management or social media mastery. Try to learn digital marketing. If you already have that as a skill, just focus on the business that has the most profits and you have the biggest advantage. If you have somebody who's in the north or have somebody who's in that country that produces something, you can use digital marketing to amplify that and build a business. Do you understand? It's a very simple thing. If your parents have contacts or connections that you can take advantage of, maybe your dad has a friend who imports cars, you can start a car sales business online. Use your dad's friend's shop or office or where his cars are actually, whether it's a car park or the garage or wherever. Just use that as an off-site venue. Do a partnership with them. I'm going to bring every customer, you guys give me 5%. If I mock up the price, it's my business. Okay, that means to say if a car is 7 million naira and you tell the customer it's 8 million naira, the customer gives you 8 million naira, you have your 1 million, they still give you 5% or 25%. You get, so you can have those conversations with people. Most people who have digital skills, the reason why they don't succeed in the entrepreneurial model is they don't have courage. They're looking for less risky but very profitable means to succeed. There is none. You cannot be broke and shy at the same time. You cannot be afraid of risks and still want to be rich. It doesn't work. I know you're going to fail, but what you're going to learn as a lesson is only going to make you, like I say this a lot of times. I cannot count how many times years ago I had done a job, and I can remember one guy, he paid me 17,000 naira for a campaign. I had very hectic health issues at that period. I was not in a good mental state. The guy told me to build a funnel. He had given me his back-end login details. He had given me the money for the ads. I told him I was going to do it. This is like years ago. My health was not just in a great space. And one of the days he called me and he's like, have you even started my project? I told him I don't lie to you. I haven't. I've not been able to do it. I'm just so fed up with everything that I'm currently on. I don't know. And he was like, I'm not going to ask you to refund me, keep the money and just be fine. Like till today, I still remember failures are a part of the journey. Today, I manage millions in projects, marketing projects, advertising projects. We got a call from somebody who wanted to market a movie. Like today, there are a whole lot of other things that I can do very well. I've delivered 7, 9, 10% return on investment, return on ad spend for different products over time. Like, come on, it didn't start that way. You're going to not get it right, but that's part of the journey. Own it. It's your scar and it's also going to be your success. So whether you're going to be building an agency, using your already existing business and using your skill to boost it off, or starting a new business on the foundation of the skills you already have, you need courage. You need to be fearless. You need to be able to learn, grow. I tell people, my biggest personal development decision was starting a business. I have grown tremendously. Just because I chose to start a business that I've grown, choosing to be a better person. And I'm very serious. The business is going to change you. Entrepreneurship is going to redefine your life. It's the hardest thing I've done in my life, and it's still today one of the most significant things I live for. So why am I telling you this? This is not like other models of monetization. This one is different, and you need to know it. It's only for people who have the courage, who can dare to be different. Steve Jobs will say that it's only people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world, that the only people that can actually change the world. If you cannot believe you can do it and you're not fierce enough to pursue it, you will not be able to accomplish it. I never thought when I was starting out in business 10 years ago, 7 to 10 years ago, I never thought that I was going to get to a point where I'm literally begging for my time. Like, I'm so busy doing things I love, getting results that I'm proud of. I never thought. I just guessed I was going to get it. I just did it. I hoped it was going to turn out fine. And that's the same thing some of you are feeling right now. You're thinking about starting that business, you're thinking about doing that thing, and the only thing you're thinking about is it going to end up well? Just start. That's how I started. I wasn't sure. Right now, I'm talking about building one of my companies that are looking for raise $1 million in funding. A lot of other, even at my level, there's still a lot of hope I'm building. Some people look at me and like, oh, come and mentor me, come and do this. And I'm telling them, see, listen, at every level, you're still learning. Even at my level, I'm still looking at people who are running billion-dollar companies, and I'm like, oh God, how do I get there? 3-4 years from now, I'm going to get there and I'm going to tell myself, oh, how do I be like Elon Musk? I'll be running a $1 trillion company. Do you understand the point? Like, there's always another level to this thing. It's about growth, not the money, not the name. It's growth. It's an impact you make by doing these things, okay? I'm going to give you 2 bonuses, 2 big bonus ideas for some of you who are really crazy about business. This is the kind of things you want to be thinking about. Build a digital software. Build a software. I know it sounds, oh, I don't know coding. Listen, Alibaba started his entire company, 17 co-founders. He knew nothing about PHP, nothing about coding, nothing, no JavaScript, nothing. And today he has one of the foremost companies in the entire China. What I'm trying to tell you is very, 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 very important. You need to have courage, okay? If you have a good idea, you believe it's going to be a website, a good app, look for a way to pursue it. I did a pitch deck. A company consulted us for us to work on a pitch deck for them, and I was just working on their pitch deck and going through the research that we had gotten on some other things. And I was just thinking in my mind, I'm like, these guys, they have courage. Like, I know I can do a lot of good things, but these guys have courage to put a lot of value in this product. Now, are they going to succeed in raising the fund they wanted to raise? I'm not sure. But I respected the fact that somebody dared and tried. They are actually basically a profitable business will give them some kind of significant advantage. What I'm saying in essence is this: don't let anything stop you. Whether it has to do with building your own business or building an app or tool or software, try it. Learn coding just because of it. I know this amazing guy had worked with his company sometime last year. He had an idea, dropped out from school, and I'm being very literal, had an idea, dropped out from medical school, learned coding and programming for 4-5 years, came back, built his idea, raised funds for it. The tenacity, the sheer perseverance, it's one of the things I respect the most about him. You can do the same thing. It's your dream, it's your vision, and it's valid. The one last thing that really help you a whole lot. If you can't do any of these things I said, and you're still very, 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 very intentional about building legacy, build a personal brand. Build a personal brand, build something around your name. Build something around your name. Now, I can't do a whole lot about personal brand in this video. Maybe you're going to see several videos about it here on Skill to Scale on other of our company's platforms. But the most important thing is this: if you can build a business, build you as a business. It's harder than the rest of the others. It is faster. It's harder, it's faster, but I believe you can do it. If you have questions, please drop your questions in the comment section. If you have even more interesting questions and you're part of the 100k challenge, people from skill to scale, kindly go to the group chat and drop your questions. I look forward to hearing from you, answering your questions, and I'll see you in the next video.